Howdy everyone, this is Tricia and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to put together this adorable Christmas angel. It's a beautiful little ornament that you could hang on your Christmas tree or on a wreath, or you could make these for any occasion. So if you want to see how I put this together, keep on watching. Alright, so to build our little angel, I'm going to use a variety of supplies and I'm going to tell you what they are as we go along. For now, let's get to crafting. Alright, so the first items that I'm going to need are a couple of chenille stems. These are 12 inches in length. And I chose this sparkly one because I'm going to use a piece of this for the halo at the top of her head. Now, you can choose a different tone or color of chenille stems for your little body. Just make sure you have something to create a little halo if you do want to make this a little angel. Otherwise, you can leave that off. Alright, so we're going to start off with these 2 chenille stems and a wooden ball. And our little wooden ball has to have a little hole going right through it. I've measured this because the package doesn't tell me, but it's anywhere from 7/8 of an inch to 1 inch in diameter, okay? So that's about the size of wooden ball with a hole going through it that you're going to need. Alright, so we're going to take our first chenille stem and we're going to fold that in half. Here we go. Bring it up, just like that. Don't have to squeeze it here, just fold it in half. Okay, so we're going to feed that right through the hole. And we want that little loop to pop out the top right there. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pour some hot glue right in there. Just like that. And then the rest of it, we're going to twist it. And we're going to twist down about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. We want to make sure we leave some length for the legs, okay? So that's a good length right there. And just to be accurate, if you want to see, mine is about 1.25 inches, okay? All right, so then we're going to take some little pliers and we're going to bend down about... also about 1/4 inch to, about 1/4 inch. Fold it up and make a little loop at the bottom for our little feet, our little shoes. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Just fold it up and create a little loop there. All right, so then we're going to take our second chenille stem. We're going to fold that in half. Now we want to squeeze that end on this one. And then we're going to go ahead and cut that so that we have a 6-inch piece. And our other piece, we're going to put it aside because that's going to be used for our halo. Okay, so now I'm going to take this piece and fold that in half to mark my center, just like that. Put my little body in there, and then I'm going to take one end and twirl it around nice and tight, once like that, and then I'm going to do the other one and twirl it around also nice and tight. Squeeze it down like I'm doing right here. Okay, so now we've got 2 arms, and then we're going to take the end here of the arm and we're going to roll it up just a little bit with our pliers, and then we'll do the same to the other side. Kind of roll it around a little bit, and that's going to be our little hands right there. We need a little bit of bulk there, just the same as we did for our feet, except for our feet it's a little bit bigger. Okay, so now we've got little arms just like that, and we've got our little body put together. Now we're going to go ahead and wrap that up. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and also pour a little bit of hot glue here. Alright, so I'm going to be using this yarn, or it's a crochet thread. It's a nice thin one. It isn't a peachy pink. I happen to have this, so I'm going to go ahead and use that. But you can use any other color that matches any skin tone that you want. Alright, but you do want something thin like that. Alright, we're going to start at the neck of our little angel. And I'm just going to put some glue there. Grab the end of our string or yarn and start wrapping around the little neck, just like that. And then we're going to go under an arm like that, and then up over the other arm like that. Now we're going to want to wrap it on our little arm here, and we're going to try not to overlap it, but we want to get it as close as we can and pull it nice and tight. And the best way for me to do this is, as I'm wrapping up, I'm moving my fingers, holding it close to where I'm wrapping, because that makes the chenille stem stay nice and still so that I can wrap it tight. Okay, so now I'm getting to what would be the little wrist, and then we're getting to that little rolled up piece of chenille, and we want to put glue on both sides, and then we want to wrap that up as well. And then I'm just going to press it down like that. Make sure that glue gets on all the little threads, like so. A little bit more glue. And now we're going to work our way back down the little arm. And make sure you wrap nice and tight. Ever so often, if you want, put a little dot of glue, just so you can stop and rest if you need to. Also, in case your phone rings or something else happens and you have to put this down, just so it doesn't unravel on you. Okay, I'm going to keep going. Okay, so I'm almost finished with the little arm here, and I'm getting back to where the shoulder would be. So here I am, and I'm going to wrap this around the neck again. And now I'm going to go under the other arm and then just start wrapping. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and work my way up to the little hand and then back, just like I did this other one. Alright, so I've wrapped up the second little arm, and I'm going to just go under the whole body and then just again wrap around here in the front. Make sure that I get all this area covered right here, the little chest area. And then I'm just going to go under the arms now and wrap up a few times like so, nice and tight. And then work my way down to the legs. This is going to get covered, so it's not too important how you cover this. Just get yourself way down here to the hip area, and then the little legs. Okay, so I'm going to add some glue there, and on the other side as well. That helps to build a little bit of bulk. And then I'm just going to wrap it a few times just to create a little bit of bulk there. Just like that. And now I'm just going to start off with one of the legs and do the same thing like I did with the little arm and the little hand. So work your way all the way down till you get to the foot. Alright, so I've gotten to the point where I'm about to do the little foot, and I want to bulk it up a little bit, but I also need to make sure that I add glue on both sides. And then just wrap up your yarn. Again, press it like that, like we did the little hands. And then we're going to add a little more glue on both sides, so we can wrap back up on there. And just the glue helps to bulk it up, like so. See how it's different from the rest of the leg? Okay, so now we're going to make our way and go thin again, nice and tight. Back up the leg. And then once we get up here, we're going to work over to this other little leg, do the same thing, bulk up the little foot, come back, okay? All right, we've made our way down. Just going to cross over to the back of this other leg and then wrap around it. And just repeat. All right, so now that I've wrapped up the legs here, I've wrapped up the arms, I've wrapped up the little neck, I want to do the little bodice or the torso. Now, when I first came down here to the hips, I didn't worry too much about the coverage here, because I'm going to add something here for bulk. Now, you could just go ahead and just keep wrapping it with the same embroider. What is this? Crochet thread or your thin yarn. You could just go, or you could use embroidery thread actually. You could just go ahead and bulk it up with that, or use something else, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some glue so I can just wrap it up a few more times here. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this. All right, so here I have some felt. You could use stiffy felt. You could use a craft foam. You just need a small little piece. So I'm going to grab about 3 inches. And I need it to be about 1 inch. Let me just cut this piece out. All right, let's measure, and I'm going to trim this down to 1 inch. It doesn't have to be exact that. I'm just trying to get little straight edges here. All right, so now I'm going to use this piece. I'm going to put some glue on the body part right here. And then glue down one of the ends here. And I can already see that maybe it's a little bit too wide. So I'm going to trim off a little bit more here. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so now we're going to wrap it around the body. Adding a little bit of glue here and there so that it sticks and stays in place. And just wrap it up. And if you feel like, okay, well that's good enough, I don't need to add any more, you can go ahead and, cut it there. You don't have to use the whole 3 inches of this if you're using the felt. So I'll go ahead and do that. I'll just trim off a little bit here. I trimmed off about 1/2 inch, so this is about 2.5 inches here. Okay, just like that. Okay, so now we can go ahead and take our yarn and cover that up. So I'll start in the back. Wrap it around. Make sure it goes around the top edge of that before it starts coming on top of it, and just to make sure the strings stay in place. Add a little bit of glue there. Okay, just when you wrap it, make sure that they're wrapped right next to each other. And you're covering the felt, okay? I'm not going to worry about that little piece here in the back because that's going to get covered up with wings and hair. But the front, I want to make sure that I covered the edge of where I started rolling. Oops, let's get that glue. There we go. The little arms up. There we go. Okay, so now once we get at least the chest part done, the rest of it, we're just going to wrap it up. We don't have to be perfect with it. We just want to wrap it up because we're going to cover that up with some ribbon. And it doesn't matter if some of the felt is showing. Okay, so now I'm going to spread the little legs here. And when you get here, wrap around the leg. Put some glue there. And then wrap around the other leg. Okay. One more time. And then I'm going to put some glue right there, right between the legs. We're going to cut our yarn and feed it through. And then just push it in there. Little crotch area there. Push it down. I'm going to trim off those ends and then just a little bit of glue on top to make sure any little edges are just down. Okay, so we can put our little legs back, little arms back. And this is what we have. All right, so now we want to go ahead and make a little dress for her. We can go ahead and draw a little face on it if you like, paint it or use little markers. Just go ahead and start, we're going to start decorating, but we want to make a little dress for her. All right, I'm going to do the little shoes and a little dress. So to start that, I'm going to use a thin white ribbon. All right, so I have this thin ribbon. This is, let's see, 1/8 of an inch wide, okay? And of course, you can use whatever color you want. It doesn't have to be white. So let's do the little shoes. I don't have very much ribbon left, so I'm just going to do the little shoes first, and then I'll do a little bit of the bodice. Okay, so I'm going to put, this is the little bulk down here where the little foot is. See that? I'm going to go up about maybe 1/2 inch. Put a little dot of glue there. Put the ribbon kind of like at an angle. And then I'm going to wrap it around. But don't wrap it on top of itself. Just kind of make sure you leave some space. And then once you get to the part where the shoe is, then you're going to want to wrap the whole little shoe with the ribbon. And then that's where you can go ahead and overlap the ribbon. Make it nice and tight. It's like a little ballet shoe. More glue, and then we're going to work our way back up the little foot. And this time we don't have to make sure that it's completely overlapping because we're trying to save some ribbon. Now, once we've got the little foot all covered with ribbon, I'm going to go back up and try not to, again, we're not going to cover all that pink. You can't hardly see it because you know, the ribbon is white and the pink is very pale. Okay, right where I started, I'm going to do another little dot. Put this on top. And then I'm going to trim off. And you don't have to do the part where it's going upward to look like a little ballet shoe. You can just wrap up the bottom part, okay? Just the little foot part. Just do a little shoe. Okay, so I'm just going to add a little bit of glue here to put that ribbon nice and flat. There we go. Now I'm going to do the other little foot just like that. Okay, so the little shoes are done. Now we're going to go ahead and wrap the top bodice. You could wrap up right here as well in the little hip area, do like a little underwear, which is what I did with this other one. I wrapped up the whole thing, including the, you know, the bottom part, so it's like a little underwear. But I don't know if I have, so it looks like she's wearing a little, like a little bodysuit. Okay, I don't know if I have enough ribbon to do all that, so I at least want to get the upper part. Okay, this is the back. I have a little piece of white felt that I can see. So I'll start there with a dot of glue. And then just work my way around the bodice. This doesn't have to be right on the edge because this is her little outfit, her little top of her outfit. So it doesn't have to cover all the way up to the top here, okay? Okay, now I'm just going to wrap around and hopefully I can get it all the way down and do the little underwear part. Now I'm just going to add some glue as I go along just to make sure that ribbon doesn't move on me. I'm going to put a little decor in front of it so I don't have to do like a complete coverage. So that's up to you. If you have enough ribbon and you want to do that, go for it. I think I'm going to make it to do the little underwear. So she's wearing like a little bodysuit. Okay, turn her around this way so I can work my way upward. A little easier for me. A glue. Okay, here you want to pull it nice and tight. We're going to do the same thing, wrap around the little legs. So we'll do one first. and then the other. Okay, and then I'll work my way back up. And I think I'm going to have plenty ribbon to do this. Make sure you have a nice new spool of ribbon. I'm using materials that I had here, and some I went to go purchase. But this I already have. Okay. Working my way back up, and now I want to go do a little crisscross around the neck, and then back to the front, a little crisscross. Did you see that? Let me do this again, or you can see it on camera a little bit better. Okay, I'll do right here. So I came back up, the front, crisscross over one of the shoulders, around the neck and the back, and then over this other little shoulder and bring it like that. See, crisscross that. All right, so then we can just come back here, a little bit of glue, put that little end down, and trim. There she is. She's got little shoes, and she's got a little bodysuit. All right, so now we want to do the little dress. I'm going to be using this white sparkly tulle. Again, use any color you want. Maybe coordinate it with that ribbon. So if you want to do red, make sure you get some red ribbon. You want to do green, use green ribbon. If you want to do an assortment, go for it. I'm using white because, like I said, this is what I happen to have. So the first time that I did my little angel, I did 8 inches to create this little skirt around. And I decided I wanted a little bit bigger, so I'm going to go ahead and go with 10 inches. So 1 is here, so 10 is right here. Okay. So then I want to take that. Oh, by the way, this is 6 inches wide like that. These spools are all 6 inches wide. I got these from the Dollar Tree. All right, so I'm going to fold it in half. And just so that it doesn't move on me, I'm going to pin it. Okay, and then I'm just going to trim this raw edge here because it's not very nice. All right, so now I have a hand needle, and I've got some thread on it with a little knot at the end. And I'm going to grab the folded side, and I'm going to start doing a running stitch all along that folded side. And that's why I pinned it so it doesn't move on me. I'm going to go all along the end here. So let's get it started by making a little knot here so it doesn't pull through, because since it's tulle, that little knot can go right through those little holes. Okay, there we go. We'll just do that. And then we're going to just do up, in and out, in and out, in and out, all the way down. This doesn't have to be perfect. We just want to make sure we get it almost at the little edge of the fold there. And we're just going to keep doing that all the way down, pull the thread through so we can gather and make a nice little round skirt. All right, so now I've got my thread on there, and I can go ahead and remove these pins. And as you'll notice on my little ornament, she's got a little lace trim on the bottom. You don't have to add that, but if you do, I'm going to recommend that you add it before you gather this whole thing. You can just do it on one layer, or you can do it on both layers. I'm going to go ahead and pop this open, and maybe you even want to do this before you even fold and then sew it. Just on one of the edges, we're going to glue a little lace trim. And again, this is completely optional, so I'll just glue something down right here. Put some glue down a little bit at a time. It's kind of difficult to do this on tulle, but if you want to go ahead and hand sew it, do that. Okay, finish doing the rest. Okay, so that's done, and we're just going to go ahead and just pull on this again just a little bit, and I'm just going to trim off the excess right here. Oh, this didn't get glued all the way, did it? Oh, yes, it did. Okay, we're going to just push this over to the side. Okay, so now I'm going to cut, because this is 6 inches up like that. I want to cut some little squares, so I'm going to cut. Is this 6 inches or is this 5? Sorry, this is 5 inches wide. I'm going to do 5 by 5. Well, this is what I did the first time. I just folded it down like that so I would know where to cut it. Okay, so now that we know this is 5 inches, not 6 inches. Okay, so that was a 5 by 10. And this is a 5 by 5. And actually, I'm going to cut 3 of those. So 1. Okay, so now I've got 3 layers, and then I'll fold them in half, fold them in half again, make sure the folded and the folds are down here. So now I'm going to just cut, and then I can open it up, and I can see here that it's not round here, so let's round it off. And then we'll do this side, and we'll round it off as well. This will probably get trimmed a little bit more, so you can do that once you have it on your little angel. Okay, so now I'm gonna fold it back up again, and I'm gonna cut in about less than a 1/4 of an inch. I'm gonna cut in a little bit like that, and I'm doing that so that I can have this little hole right here. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and take our little angel doll, put her little legs through, push this up as high as we want it. I want it about right there. Okay, so I want that to stay in place. So we're going to add some glue all the way around. Now, if you cut that little hole and it's not too big, just cut a little bit at a time. Make sure you cut it smaller than you think you're going to need, because it's always better to cut a little bit than rather cutting way too much. Okay, so now that's going to dry, okay? And we want that to help us bulk up the little skirt, okay? So that's why we're adding this. Okay, now we can take our other little skirt. I'm going to push her arms up. And then we're going to take this little skirt and wrap around her bodice. Bring it around to the back and pull on the thread so that the two ends here meet up. And then just push the needle through the other end where you started sewing, and then you're going to bring those two ends together and pull the thread so that your little skirt is nice and tight, and make sure it's in the spot that I want it to be as well. And then just move around the gathering, make sure it's all nice and even. Once you have it pretty good where you want it, we're going to take the front part, pull it down a little bit, put some glue. Make sure that gets glued down. Okay, then we're going to come around the back. Pull that down a little bit. A little bit of glue there. Push it back up. Let's pull on that thread a little bit more. Okay, so now we're just going to go ahead and knot and cut that thread. And just to make sure that doesn't come undone, we're going to add a little bit of glue on that. And she's like, yay! Look how cute she is already. Okay, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and draw a little face on her right now that I'm able to. Like I said, you could have done that, you know, when you were first, you know, putting her together. Get that out of the way. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I just want to make this little skirt and glue that little bit right there on top of the other. Just the ends, the bottom ends here. Here we go. That way her dress is closed all the way around. And a little bottom skirt, if it pops out like from underneath, you know, the length, just trim wherever you need to. That's what I was saying, you're going to end up trimming it anyway. Okay, so that's what she looks like. Just poof it up by pushing that bottom skirt upward. Look how cute that is. Okay, let's go ahead and paint her little face on. All right, so for her face, I'm going to use a Sharpie. I'm using this black Sharpie. I would like to use an extra fine point, but I can't find mine, so I went ahead and I used this fine point just to do some little eyes and a little mouth. Very simple, just like that. You can do this however you want, or you don't even want to put a face on it, you don't have to. Or you can just do two eyes. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little dot and a little dot just to start off with, so I know where my eyes are going to be. And then my little mouth, a little dot. And then I'm just going to go from there, little dots, until I get the little mouth how I want it. And I kind of like them to look like their little mouths are like singing. So a little ovally shape. And then I'll do the same thing with the eyes, just to not as wide. Just like that, very simple. Try not to do too much, because then you'll probably end up getting bigger and bigger and bigger every time. So I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to take some paint, and I want some pale pink. I don't have any pale pink, so I just got pink and white. And I'm going to use the tip of my finger, kind of mix the colors around until I get like a palish pink. That's good enough. Dab some of that off, and then just do the little cheekies like that. I like using a cotton ball sometimes, but my little finger here is good enough. Can you see the face on it? There we go. That's it. Very simple. We're going to let that dry. All right, so while her face is drying, I'm going to take some brown yarn. Any color you want to use for the hair, use that. All right, so I've got this piece of paper that was wrapped around my yarn. I just went ahead and just flattened it up. This is about, let's see, it's about 3 inches. And I'm just going to start with some yarn like that. And I'm going to wrap it around. I don't want to wrap it around tight, because what that's going to do is going to make this go like that. And I don't want to do that. And I don't want it too loose. So just wrap it around as many times as you want. However much hair you think you're going to need for your little girl. When I did the first one, I feel like, oh, I did a lot. So I'm going to try and see if I can figure this out so it's a little bit less. Okay, I think that'll be good enough. I'm going to go ahead and stop there. Since I started here, the raw edge here, I'm stopping on the opposite side and just cutting there, and then cut an extra piece, and then bring it up and wrap it around one of the folded edges, make a knot, and then just trim the other folded edge like that. There we go. And then we've got some hair. Now, I don't want the strands to pull out because I don't have this like super tight. So I'm going to add a little bit of glue in there. Okay. There we go. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And that's going to be our hair. We're going to put that to the side. Okay, so now I'm going to take some ribbon here. This is what I want to use for the wings. Of course, you can use whatever. If you want to use more tulle, you can do that. I'm going to use this ribbon. It has a little bit of a wire on the edge, and I kind of like that. And I'm going to cut 6 inches. Okay, and then I'm just going to fold it in half. And then again like so. And I'm going to round it off a little bit like that. Just like that. It's a little too pointy. Do this. And that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to take my needle and thread again. And because I kind of had it, you know, folded there already, I have it already marked. So I'm going to just take my needle. And I'm going to do the same thing right along the fold here. Do a running stitch in and out, in and out. Doesn't have to be perfect. All the way to the other end. So I can pull this. I can hear my mom's dog outside. Okay, and now she's just running around playing. Okay, so just wrapping that around. And then I'll go ahead and put the needle through again. Make a knot. And trim that off. Okay, so I decided that I want to decorate her a little bit more. I did do the bodice on this one. See that little piece of lace right there? You don't have to do that, but I want to go ahead and do that just like I did this one. So I'm using this trim here. I'm just going to cut off that little shape that I like. And trim that out. Okay, and then I'm just going to put that on her little bodice here in the front. And then on the side here, a little bit of glue. Can you hear the little dog? Okay. Okay, and then on the side. There like that. Okay, so now I want to put the hair on, so I'm going to push this little loop. I'm going to actually twist it like that and then push it back. And then I'm going to put some glue right here on the top. Get my hair, push it down like that, and then bring that little loop back up like that. And go to the back and put some glue back here. Bring this side of the hair like that so it catches some of that glue. And then over here as well. Press it so that closes up the gap at the back of the head here. And we've got our little loop where we can put a little string so we can hang it. Okay, so on the sides here, the side of the head, kind of go back like that. Put her hair down. You could do little braids if you want. Do whatever you, however you want to design her hair. This is the easiest thing for me, so this is what I'm doing. Just like that. And then what you want to do is get another piece of yarn. So just a little piece of yarn like that. And I'm going to tie it into a little ponytail. Nice and tight. Okay, that same string, I'm just going to let it hang. And then I'm just going to trim so that it all kind of looks even. Okay. Just like that, little ponytail in the back. All right, so now we want to go ahead and glue the little wings to the back of her body. So just some glue. I lifted her hair up. Put some glue. Sorry about my animals, my goodness. And then I'm just going to glue that down. Put her hair back down like that. There are her little wings. I'm going to fold her little arms because I want her to hold something here in the front. So like that. All right, so now I'm going to take this piece of chenille stem that I still had, and I'm just going to form like a little halo. And I'm just going to measure it like that, like, okay, that's good, okay? So then you want to give it a little bit of a slack. I'm going to trim this off, but give a little bit of a slack so that you can use that to twist like that, and then the other end over here, so that you can form that little ring, okay? Little halo. Okay, then to the back of her head, we're going to put this on her again, see where it's supposed to go, about right here. Put a little bit of glue, so she stays there. And we're going to put her down so that that glue can dry. Oh, and then I have this little ribbon flower here. I thought it was really cute. So I'm going to go ahead and glue that here. Now I could take some of that same white or whatever color you choose to use, that little thin ribbon, create a little bow, and put it in her hair if that's what you want, on her ponytail. Look at how cute that is. All right, she's almost done. We just want to add something for her to hold here in her little hands. Okay, so you can put whatever you want in her little hand, a little pine cone, a little bow, a little jingle bell, whatever you want. I'm going to show you what I put together to put on this little angel if you want to build something similar. Okay, so first I found these little wood hearts. This was in the wedding section of Hobby Lobby. Here's the brand, his and hers. They're 100 count and it was $2.49, and I believe I got these on sale, like 30% off. So anyway, you want to look for sale items, and you can go where they have like the Christmas decorations, little miniature items. Find stuff there. Where I found this packet of this pine cone things with little berries on them. It says mini pine cone and berry picks. It was $4.99, but I got it at 50% off. But this is from Hobby Lobby. So I took out a little piece of that. Where's my little heart? Oh, I put it back. Let's grab it. Put my little heart. That. This little stem is just from this bigger stem that I bought at the Dollar Tree. Okay, so I just pulled one off so I can cut off some of the bits from it. So I'll just cut off one of these. That's all I need, this one little bit. From this little pine cone thing, I only need one pine cone. And I'm going to use the little berries here. And I only used two on the other one, so that's what I'll do for this one as well. Okay, so now I'm also cutting these little leaves off of here. Little tiny leaves. I'm not sure how many I'll need. I think I used 5, so I'll go ahead and cut the 5 here. Okay, so I just glued the little pine cone onto the little heart. And the little berries. I'll try not to burn my finger because I already am. Just glue them however you want. And that's how I create my little heart charm here, like that. Alright, so we want her to be holding it. So let's put some glue on the tip of one hand. I'm kind of gluing it kind of to the front area there. And then the other little hand on the other side. We don't want it to cover too much. We want to make sure we see that the little heart or whatever it is that you decide to buy already made and put on there. Maybe just a little bow, whatever you want. Little piece of paper folded so it looks like she's reading some or singing from some music. There we go. There, that's it. All right, and we don't want to forget that we want to get some twine. I've got this pretty twine that I also purchased from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just going to cut a good length here. We're going to put that through our little loop here that we have at the top of the head. Bring it up. And then knot it wherever you feel like you know, the size of loop that you want here. Make it nice and tight. And then trim off any excess. And there we go. All right, everyone, so I have completed my little ornaments. I've got 2 here, and I think they look super cute. These are my little Christmas angel ornaments. And I really had fun making them. I think the thing that took the longest was just wrapping them up with the thread around the little legs and the body and the little arms. But it was actually a very relaxing project to do. I really enjoyed myself, and I think they look super cute. I think they would look really cute in any other colors. You could add some little rhinestones, things like that, or maybe even some little pearls on them if you want. And of course, they don't have to be for Christmas. They could be for any other occasion. Maybe make them in the colors of, the birthstones, and give them away as little gifts for, your family and friends. All right, everyone, I'm going to give myself a big old thumbs up, and I hope that you too will give me a big old thumbs up. And if you're enjoying the content of my videos, please subscribe at the bottom there. Push that red button. And of course, you also want to hit notifications and choose all so that you get notified as soon as I upload a video. I want to thank everyone for watching and supporting my channel. And as always, enjoy.